I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am insanely excited to talk about another Japanese animated film like I did last April for Demon Slayer the movie, Mugen Train, and I just can't wait to see more movies like this. So if you're ready, just like I am, let's get to it. Welcome back, my fellow film fans. This is Let's Be Real with Brad, and today on the channel, I want to talk to you guys about the brand new Japanese animated science fiction movie called Belle. Belle is about a shy high school student, Suzu, living in a rural village. For years, she has only been a shadow of herself, but when she enters U, a massive virtual world, she escapes into her online persona as Belle, a globally loved singer. When I heard that a brand new Japanese animated movie was coming out in wide release in this past week, I was extremely excited because I want more foreign movies to have wide releases. This was a really enjoyable movie that definitely pulled at the heartstrings, and I think this movie meant to do so. Belle is a movie that is very relevant to today's times, talking about the internet culture and our self-esteem issues, and looking at it from a different standpoint of a young child. But when you get a movie like Belle that I feel like is able to understand every single aspect about the internet, they're able to make their own social media platform and just dive into it in a very integral and interesting way, and I think this movie excels on that extremely well. So let's just dive right into the positives first, and I want to start with the animation. This is the first thing that I thought of when I was thinking about how much I enjoyed this movie, and it is the beautiful, gorgeous looking animation. I just couldn't take my eyes off the screen because it was so amazing to look at. I absolutely love all the colors, the character designs, and the way that this movie flowed and looked, especially when they entered into the U, which was so abstract and so interesting that I wanted more scenes of them in the U. My next positive has to do with how beautiful and amazing the music is. The music in this movie is so purposeful and so amazing that I was just feeling all the emotion, especially toward the climax scene of the film. There is a massive song that is sung, and let me tell you, it was epic, especially watching it in IMAX. The next positive I have with this movie is the terrific second half. I will dive a little bit into my negatives with the first half of the movie, but the second half of the movie, where everything changes, was absolutely terrific. I don't think anyone could say that they saw where this movie was going, especially in the second half, where it becomes a totally different movie. It went away from just being about a message. It added the message into another integral story. I was on board, especially in the third act, which I didn't know what was going to happen. I was still on the edge of my seat. And the last positive I have with this movie is the direction. I found it to be absolutely excellent with so many fantastic shots, and I really felt like the director here put so much time and effort into making a wonderful and amazing story, especially with the writing team. They did such a great job as well, and it's really cool that this movie feels like it is very accessible to anybody, not just for people in Japan, but for everybody else, because everyone uses the internet, and I thought it was so awesome. Unfortunately, this movie does have a few negatives, and the first one being the English dubbing. The English dubbing has nothing to do with the quality of the movie itself, but a lot of people will tell you that Japanese animated movies are way better subbed because you're getting the original Japanese actors and actresses' voices that fit the movie itself, and I agree with you. The Showtime that I picked for said subbed with English subtitles and Japanese audio, and then while the movie started, it was all English dub. In my personal opinion, I thought the dubbing was really bad, and I thought it was very cringeworthy at times, especially with the little girl in the movie. I just didn't think it matched with the character at all. My second negative with this movie is the story. As much as I was praising how simple and effective this movie is on an accessible level, I did find this movie way too surface level, as it doesn't dive that much deep into the social media sphere, as it basically gives us everything that you would come to expect with this movie, but not saying all that much. And maybe this movie didn't. Maybe because so many movies have been touching upon this, like the Emoji Movie, because we all know that was good. I do think think that this movie could have easily taken that in an interesting direction, especially because this is a Japanese movie, and I would love to see a Japanese person's perspective on this. And my last negative with this movie is something that I've already talked about before, and that is the first half of the movie, where I did find it to be much weaker than the second half because you were going through all the characters and getting the backgrounds to all of them and getting this set up into the U. And I understand that it needs to be this way because when you get to the second half, it does surprise you because it is much darker. But just because the second half is darker, that doesn't mean the first half, which is much lighter, can't be as enjoyable and as interesting. Overall, guys, Belle is a really good Japanese animated movie that I can recommend to anybody, as it is very accessible, but I also think this movie is very entertaining. It has a great pace to it and interesting characters for the most part, even if they're not as written well, but with the gorgeous animation and beautiful music and some high tension stakes toward the end of the movie, I think this one is definitely worth the watch. I'm giving Belle a strong 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I want to know down below in the comment section, what are your favorite Japanese animated movies of all time, because I want to watch more of those kind of movies. But before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so you can see me in the next upcoming video.